Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of my FIFA 18 FUT Champions series, Upgrade to Glory. So I'll just do a quick recap of the rules for this series. It will be very similar to the series Road to Elite. So if you haven't checked that series out already, effectively I'll be playing through FUT Champions this game, FIFA 18, and I will have 2 teams that can only be improved based on how I perform each weekend. So I know I've put the ultimate aim is top 100, but that is incredibly unlikely the way I've been playing on this game lately. I've got quite a few grievances and annoyances to probably share with you this video. Back to the rules. So it's going to be a FUT Champion series. I'll have 2 teams that I'll be running. I'll be switching between the 2 when one's in need of fitness. Both will start off as a full 75 rated team maximum, so that is 75 maximum for each player in each position, as well as 3 75 rated substitutes. I'll play through the weekend league, alternating between the 2 teams, and then depending on how I perform that weekend will be how I can improve my team. So if I get so the way I'll be doing it is 2 improvement points per win with -1 improvement point per defeat. So 2 improvement points effectively is going from a 75 rated player to a 77 rated player, or upgrading 2 75 rated players to 2 76 rated players. So at the end of each weekend I'll count up however many improvement points I have and apply it across the 2 teams. So that would mean a minimum of 14 wins are needed to get positive improvement points for a weekend. So I should be finishing on positive every weekend, and bearing as long as it's not like a massive shocking weekend, or if I can't get games done potentially. So yeah, every win will be 2 improvement points, every loss I'll lose 1, and then at the end of each weekend I will count up however many points I have. And then I'll ask you guys what you think I should do to improve my teams with the improvement points that I have to spend. So on to this past weekend, was not happy at all. FIFA or EA decided to put a little patch out right before the weekend league started. So I don't know how some of you guys felt about that, but to me it threw me off entirely. I was just getting used to this game, just getting used to how it worked. The defending I was starting to get right, and then they just changed it all. The massive change being you can now see your opponent's cursor. So that threw off my defensive game entirely, because I would just be pressuring. I would try and cut out passes and things. So I'm just going to show you a few clips of the weekend league just gone, and just some ridiculous ones. So that first one, what the ball was doing going 300 miles per hour off the bar, I do not know. Little clips like this, things were just not going my way. How that wasn't a penalty, I do not know. And then from the resulting corner, hitting the crossbar and then somehow skying it over from 8 yards out. Things just did not go my way this weekend. I don't really know what else to say. The goalkeeping was just... that was the main thing. It was atrocious. I don't know if it's the goalkeepers I'm using or just goalkeepers in general, but opponents' goalkeepers didn't seem as bad as mine. Knocking the ball straight to other players or just missing it entirely all the time. So the clips I'm showing you now for... the clips I'm showing you for this current match is I went 1-0 down with that pretty annoying goal, then somehow turned it back round to 3-1, and then somehow let a 3-1 lead slip. So that was one of the more frustrating games. Another example of the shocking goalkeeping, how you can just punch it straight into the most dangerous place on the pitch, I do not know. Another one, Mvogo, this was twice. You see it from the other angle as well, clearly. Once he's finished dabbing, of course. Gotta let him do his dab, as everyone does. Straight at the keeper, somehow then I don't know. I don't know what on earth was going on this weekend. So another example, I was 2-1 up in the 112th minute, and I lose the match. Like, it was just not going my way. A lot of it was my own fault. I'm not discounting that at all. I'm not blaming the game entirely. There was just a lot of things just did not go my way, and I think that affected my performances then as well. And I started making mistakes because I was getting angry, and yeah, it was just a frustrating weekend. I'm hoping they don't make any other major changes to the game now on the Thursday night or before a weekend league starts, as yeah, I can't deal with it. This is going to be a really long game if it's going to be things like this all the time. So that weekend finished, I finished on 20 wins, so I won as many games as I lost, which is not good enough. I mean, at least it is the minimum target that I had set for this weekend league, so I guess I could take some positives. But I was on 20 wins with like 4 games remaining, so I only needed the 1 just to get into goal 2 and get those better packs, and I just couldn't. I just lost the last 4 games, and that just sums everything up this weekend. So it was not a good weekend, I'll be honest. 20 wins, I'm okay with it, but it's just the manner of some of those defeats really got on my nerves. I should have been getting at least gold 1 this weekend. But I'm going to try and take the positives. I was using these 2 75 rated teams, so I did make it tough for myself. So I guess, yeah, I'll take some positives. So I'm just going to go and give you a quick recap of how my feelings of the teams. So the first thing I'm going to address is the formation. Before the patch 4-3-2-1, it was working nicely for me. This weekend, I mean, I still won 20 games with it, but I'm not convinced with it. So this the next few days between the end of this weekend league and the start of the next one, I'm going to have to I think I'm going to have to try and practice with some of the formations, try and find the one I'm most comfortable with, because I haven't actually found it. I thought I had with the 4-3-2-1, but I don't think so. I don't think I can use this long term. So I'm going to have to play around with some formations, so it's going to be hard for you guys to suggest what players I can use, because I don't even know what formation I'm going to use, but you guys still can. So let's run through the team. I've already mentioned my absolute distaste for the goalkeepers. So Alex McCarthy, wasn't happy. So I did end up playing 20 games with each team. I didn't count actually how many wins I got with each, which I really should have done, because I could see which team I was most suited to. It was probably the Premier League team, but I'm not entirely certain. So just going through these players. McCarthy, not happy with the keeper. He's got to go this episode, 100%. Centre backs, Cavaselli and Nathan Atke. Neither scored or anything, but I can't really fault them defensively. They weren't too bad at all. So I'm only going to upgrade them if I have, depending on who the other upgrades are. They're a lower priority currently, because McCarthy is definitely a higher priority. Both fullbacks are, again, lower priority. Masuaku was probably the weakest of all my defenders, I would say. There were times when he was just caught out of position all the time, but again, that could just be the game. Fullbacks are pretty rubbish defensively this in FIFA 18. But I gotta say, Scalotto, he didn't score or assist or anything, but for the first maybe 10 matches I played with him, I don't think he lost the ball once, whether dribbling or passing. I was really, really impressed with how good his card was, so he is very unlikely to get changed in this team. Because, yeah, I was very happy with him, I've got to be honest. So, unless there's no other changes I can make that really improve the team, he will likely be staying. Moving into the midfield 3, not a lot of positives here. Amati was poor, very poor on the ball, which I should have known with that passing. I'd like to improve him if there's anyone good enough to improve him with. Jeff Hendrick was easily the best of the three, one of the better players in this team. Again, he's probably not good enough to be using in the weekend league, but he is another lower priority player to upgrade. He popped up with 5 goals and 5 assists from 20 games, so it's not phenomenal stats, but it was solid, and he was definitely the best of the three. Jake Livermore just felt way too clunky and slow. I know, again, he's got 64 pace, so he shouldn't be whizzing around the pitch, but just it's like he would take an eternity to turn when he had the ball. So I'm going to look to improve him, depending on what formation I use. I don't know what position I'll be changing him into. So we got the front three then. Christian Atsu was maybe the weakest. 6 goals, 3 assists. Not terrible, but not good enough really. The problem with the teams I picked is there was real lack of strength. I went for pace instead of strength. Probably wasn't the smartest option. He was getting pushed off the ball a lot. He's left-footed as well, so I was having to try and cut in to get shots off with him, and he was just losing it. So Atsu I'll probably look to change. Damari Gray did quite well, 7 goals, 4 assists. But I will improve him if I can find someone worth improving him up to. Then Callum Wilson, pretty solid. I didn't think he actually scored as many as that. 13 goals and 15 assists, which is actually really, really good. 28 goal contributions from 20 matches. Didn't feel like he made that much of an impact, but stats don't lie. So I'll possibly be upgrading Wilson, depending on who is available, with the points I've got left over. So that's the run through of the Premier League team I used. Not many players in here whose positions are safe, let's put it that way. But when I go to the other team, exactly the same can be said about them as well. So let's have a look at this team. So Mvogo I have mentioned. He's gone no matter what. Even if I just change him to another 75 rated player. Absolutely awful. Going into the defence, Busman was poor. He's just not good enough, not quick enough for a fullback. 2-star weak foot, didn't even realise that when I picked him. Needs someone better there. Balogun I cannot fault at all. Was very, very solid at centre back. So he will likely be staying because there are too many other players that need changing before him. Bunga I will probably try to upgrade, but again he didn't do terribly. He wasn't too bad at all. So he's probably middle priority about swapping him out. Gebri Selassie sort of the same. Again I'm not disappointed with him. He did a decent job again. So into midfield we have Arslan in midfield with 5 goals, 1 assist. He was alright, wasn't too bad. I was quite happy with this midfield. But the thing is I might go to a different league for the next weekend league, so there's a good chance nearly everyone here will get changed. But if I decide not to change the leagues around, there's a good chance he'll stay. Gondorf did alright, 4 goals, 7 assists, not too bad. But then Yakuslu was the star man in midfield, 11 goals and 5 assists for a central defensive midfielder. Very happy with him. So again, if I stick with the leagues, he will be staying. Moving to the front three, the problem was there was just no strength. Again, the other team, the Premier League team, had more strength up front. Callum Wilson could hold the ball up. Ezekiel just couldn't. 4 goals, 7 assists isn't good enough. He's got to go. We have Umar on the right, 6 goals, 7 assists, so not too bad. And Castillo, 7 goals, 5 assists. So they both did reasonably well. Nothing spectacular though. Definitely not enough to guarantee that they'll be staying in the team. And then checking the 3 substitutes out, I just didn't even use Nkulma. Actually I should say I used Iheanacho to begin with and had to get rid of him because he was absolutely awful. Yeah, Iheanacho was my original substitute, that's why I brought Nkulma in, and didn't really use him much then. Badu came on a few times, did pretty well. I'm happy with him as a substitute. And Biabiani, I quite liked him as well. I know he's played more than... He came in a lot of games, 27 matches. Not a lot of goal contributions, but having that pace to bring on off the bench really did help. So they're the teams. So because I finished on 20 wins, I get 2 points for each of those wins. That's 40. But I lose 20 points then for the 20 defeats, so I have 20 improvement points to spend. So, like, I'm not going to do this, but one way I could basically bring in a 95 rated player if I had the coins, which I don't, so that doesn't matter anyway. But I have 20 points I can spend across the 2 teams and 3 subs. So I can't upgrade everyone to a 76, so that's why some players will definitely stay. Or at least stay 75 rated players in those positions. So what I'd quite like you guys, if you'd want, is you can leave me some suggestions on ways I can improve the teams. With the Premier League team, I'm going to be sticking with Premier League, so just some decent Premier League rated, like Premier League players rated 80, between 75 and 80 would be really handy. Or you can build me a team based on like the players I've already got in there with some changes, as long as there's not major changes. So 20 improvement points is the most that can be spent. And then with this team, I might even switch leagues completely, so it's hard for you to suggest any improvements to make with this team. What you could do is try and come up with a full starting 11 that is really, really good and pretty low rated, so like no one over 80 rated certainly, or between like most 75 to 77 rated. Yeah, you guys could come up with a team like that for me. That would be great. And that's going to be it for this episode. These first 2 episodes of this series were a bit full on, bit rushed as well, which I'm not too happy about. It's just because I wanted to get, like, I needed to put the rules out and things. So I think for the future episodes now, they should be a lot smoother. I'm hoping anyway. So the way the episodes will work is the next episode I'll show you my rewards from this past weekend. So they're just gold 3 rewards, so nothing special. But who doesn't like watching packs being opened? So I'll show you guys my gold 3 rewards. Then I'll show you the changes I made for the team for that upcoming weekend. And then possibly some highlights for the first few matches, maybe not. You guys let me know in the comments if you want me to. The videos will be a bit longer if I do, so you just let me know. Then the episode after that, so that would be episode 4, I'll definitely show you guys either some highlights like I did this episode, or just some, maybe like the final 3 matches, particularly if they're important for where I'll finish. I could show you some extended highlights. And then show you, go do a run through again of how I felt about my team and the players. Let you guys know then how many improvement points I have. And any changes I'm thinking of making, or asking you guys to come up with some suggestions for me. Only if you want to, of course. So that is how the episodes will be structured from now on. I'm hoping they won't be too long, particularly if I don't include too many highlights, particularly for it'll be the odd number episodes. Yeah, because I don't want videos that are way too long, because people just don't stick around for them, which is fair enough. So I will be trying to stick to that, like a strict structure for the future episodes. So that'll be it for this episode. I'm hoping to get another FIFA 18 video out for you guys tomorrow. Please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It means an absolute massive amount to me. It's quick and easy for you guys, and honestly, there's nothing better for a YouTuber than seeing people subscribe and liking their videos and leaving nice comments. So it would mean so much to me if you guys could do that. And if you don't want to do it, no worries at all either. So thank you so much for watching this video. Should be another video out tomorrow, and I hope you guys will be stopping by to check that out as well. So thanks for watching.